Subscribe to ABN Media Network and become part of our family and learn so many new things.
The princess who trusted her destiny. Once there was a king who had 7 daughters. One day, the king was in a very cheerful mood. He called all 7 daughters and said, "I'll ask each of you a question. If I like your answer, you'll get a reward of your choice." He asked them to stand in a line and one by one answer, "Whose food do you eat and whose gifts do you wear?" 6 of the daughters replied, "Father, we eat what you provide and wear what you give. Whatever we have is because of you." The king was delighted to hear this and gave each of them the reward they wanted. When it was the youngest daughter's turn, she said, "I eat what God provides, and I wear what is destined for me. This is my fate." The king was furious. "Ungrateful child," he shouted, "you've insulted me. You will be punished." The princess bowed her head and said, "As you wish, father." The king ordered his soldiers, "Take her to the forest and leave her there. Let me see how she eats what God gives her and wears what her fate provides." The soldiers took away her jewelry and fine clothes and left her in the forest with only worn-out garments. But the princess was calm and peaceful, trusting that God would take care of her. When the soldiers left, she looked around and saw nothing but trees. As evening approached, she thought, "I should gather some wood to make a fire so that wild animals won't come near me at night." While searching for firewood, she saw a small hut. Outside was a tied goat, and inside she heard someone coughing. Curious, she entered and found an old man lying on a cot, weak and calling for water. She looked around, saw a water pot in the corner, filled a glass, and helped him drink. Then she cleaned the hut. The old man asked, "Who are you, child? And why are you alone in this forest?" The princess told him everything. The old man said, "Stay here, daughter. I go to the city for work. Tomorrow morning I'll leave and return after 8 days. There's food in the hut and a stream nearby. You can fetch water from there." The next morning, the old man left for the city. The princess cleaned the hut, milked the goat, kept half the milk for herself, and left the other half outside for any thirsty animal. Then she went to sleep. When she woke up the next morning, she found the bowl empty and beside it lay a red gem, shining and rare. Near it were snake tracks. She remembered hearing in childhood that when a rare snake is happy, it leaves behind a precious gem more valuable than any diamond. She thought, maybe the snake was hungry. It drank the milk and left this gem in gratitude. She kept the gem safely. The next night she again placed milk outside, and the next morning there was another gem. This continued for 7 days, and she collected 7 gems in total. When the old man returned, she showed him the gems and told him everything. Then she gave him 3 gems and said, "Sell these in the city and bring some workers to build a palace here." She wore the remaining 4 gems as a necklace. Within months, a magnificent palace stood in the forest. The old man and the princess lived there. It was filled with servants, luxury, and beauty. The princess also opened a wood factory where poor people worked and earned a living. Soon the forest turned into a thriving town. News spread everywhere about a kind princess who helped the poor. The story even reached her father's court. Curious, the king sent soldiers with a message asking to meet this princess. The princess replied, "I'll meet the king only if he comes with all his daughters." The king agreed and arrived with his 6 daughters. The princess met them wearing a veil. She served them 7 courses of food, each in a different color, and appeared each time wearing clothes and jewelry of the same color. The palace's beauty and her grace left everyone astonished. Finally, the king said, "You remind me of my lost daughter. I came here with all my daughters, as you asked. Tell me, why do you hide your face?" After his repeated requests, the princess said, "Very well, I'll come back properly dressed." The daughters whispered among themselves, "She's already wearing the most expensive jewelry. How much more prepared can she be?" Just then, they saw a woman walking toward them in simple, worn clothes. The king looked closely and gasped, "This can't be my daughter. She's alive. I thought the wild animals had eaten her. My soldiers told me there was no trace of her in the forest." Overwhelmed with joy, he said, "Bring her to me. I'll take her back even if I have to give up my entire kingdom." The princess smiled and said, "Father, I am that very daughter." Didn't I tell you that I eat what God provides and wear what is destined for me? It was God who raised me from nothing to more than even you could imagine." She then told him everything and showed the necklace of 4 gems still around her neck. The other 6 princesses watched in silence, filled with envy and regret, thinking, if only we had said the same, that we eat what God gives and wear what fate provides.